How low can a punk get?
Alrighty, welcome to the How Low Can a Punk Get podcast. Today we have an amazingly talented bass player, from, in my opinion, two of the great who plays in two of the greatest Swedish punk bands to exist. Currently with no fun at all, and founding member of Atlas Losing Grip, Stefan Bratt. How are you, mate?
Yeah. Hi. All good. I'm
Good.
slowly starting my day here.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's to set the tone. It's 10:15
Yeah,
where
exactly.
you are, and it's about 9:15, 7:15 where I am.
Yeah.
So that timeline will
Okay.
get you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
quite far away from each other, so yeah.
it is indeed, but we make it work nonetheless.
Yeah, the plus side of the internet, I
That's
guess.
it. That's exactly right. Alrighty, so I'm going to start off with a really easy question.
Yeah.
What was the first bass line you ever learned?
Oof. The thing is, I'm one of those guys who actually started out on guitar.
Guitar. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Like probably most of us. Or no, at least, yeah, a bunch of us did. But I, then I have to think back, like when I played bass for the first time, because I still play guitar frequently.
Yep.
I don't play a lot of bass at home because to get my fingers working, I prefer to play guitar.
Yep, that makes sense.
Um, but the first bass line, I can't remember.
So
I
why
just
did you jump across to bass from guitar? Like, especially because the first band that in my mind got notoriety was Atlas Losing Grip, like, and you played bass in
yeah
that originally, yeah? Like
yeah
you
yeah
started out as a bass player, yeah?
yeah absolutely. I mean, I've been playing bass since like late 90s,
Okay.
and I started guitar late 80s.
Oh wow, okay,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and I guess it has something to do like with my personality. I'm not a lead guitar guy
Yep.
personality wise. I don't like to in front of people. I don't like to be like in the center in that way.
Yep.
Probably has something to do with what I think I can do if I'm good enough or whatever.
Yeah, that makes
From
sense.
the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yep.
And somehow it's easier to be a badass bass player than a guitarist
Well,
nowadays.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, sick.
But the first reason, I guess, I just got asked, like, we need a guy on bass. Do you want to try? Because yeah, okay, why not? It was like a death metal band in the late 90s.
Yeah,
And
right. Okay.
yeah, I had never ever played bass before, really. I just played guitar, but I guess it turned out okay. And then I just stuck with bass, and I think it suited my personality good. So
Yeah, cool. So
yeah.
you're not doing any bands at the moment playing guitar. It's all just bass stuff.
Yeah. Just bass stuff. Guitar only at home.
Yeah, cool.
Like when I'm writing songs or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's easier to write melodies on a guitar,
Yeah,
obviously.
absolutely. Yeah.
It sounds more more fair,
Yeah. So
like it should.
you started out so you play bass in a death metal band. What were you
Yeah,
playing?
at
Were you
that time.
playing are you always playing like that end of like that part of like the umbrella that we call punk rock and hardcore and aggressive music? Like you started out at death metal and kind of made your way through or
No, I mean, I always liked a good tune, good music. It didn't really matter what genre it was. It's and I started out, of course, in the mid 90s, early 90s. It was a lot of the melodic hardcore and skate punk things in Sweden with all of
yeah.
those bands. And I had a few bands back then, like nothing serious, but I played guitar.
Okay.
But I was still listening to heavy metal and other stuff, also like pop music, whatever was good.
Yeah.
And I think at that time it just happened to be a death metal band. I mean, and it wasn't any good. It was just we were a couple of young guys playing music, like,
Yeah.
and I didn't really care what kind of band it was. I didn't have those thoughts at the moment anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't try to start a career there.
yeah. So
So yeah,
you've been obviously into the punk rock, that kind of thing. Well, you've been playing since the late 80s. You said playing guitar.
yeah.
What one thing that's always really intrigued me about, especially like about Sweden,
Mm.
is when you think of skate punk, Sweden in theory shouldn't be like it doesn't make like to anyone who didn't know, you wouldn't think
Yeah.
Sweden would be such a fertile ground for like some game-changing bands.
No, no.
What was happening over there that like how was that music getting to you, and what was happening over there that was kind of cultivating it, like because there's obviously not I mean there's probably a snowboarding culture, but there's not the surf culture. There's probably a skate
No,
culture, but for not 365 days of the year. How did it
no.
happen over there?
Exactly. I think it's a country that's sensitive to trends.
Okay.
And I guess there was a boom in this kind of music, like in the US at the time, early 90s, yeah, late 80s. But and I think people got within the skate and snowboard community, like got this through the magazines or the VHS tapes or you know skate videos. And I don't even remember how we looked at videos back then, but it was
Yeah,
VHS, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
or DVDs. Yeah. So I guess that's how it found its way, like mixtapes and all that shit. That's how it found its way to Sweden, I guess. I'm not sure. To me, it came like through school, and
okay.
I lived outside a town called Lund in Sweden, where Bad Taste Records was
Oh,
housing.
really? Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the communities. I was young. I mean, I was 95. I was 15.
Yep,
So but still, yeah, in the school we went, like people started having those shirts in the early 90s, and people asked each other, yeah, where did you get it, what is it, blah blah, the way it spreads.
yeah,
And since we had like the Bad Taste Records office or whatever, was like an apartment with records and shirts and stuff,
yeah,
and you could go there and yeah, check the CDs or buy whatever you wanted to, and that's how it started to spread for me personally. And up north from where No Fun at All started, they had of course Burning Heart Records at the time,
yep, yep,
and I guess was like the same thing for them around there for the kids. So yeah, that. But I don't know how it like really got into Sweden, since, as you say, it's not a skateboard all year round country.
yeah,
I think there's a lot of well-known music from our country,
yeah,
and there has to be a reason for that. And I think it's maybe because of like the climate and the darkness, like half the year
yeah.
you really dig into something indoors, maybe
Okay.
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
half of the year. That how it was for me, at least. I found the guitar. I started playing to records
Yep,
and learning like, oh, I can do what they do. That's cool. Like only using my ears.
yep.
That was probably because yeah, didn't have anything else to do at the time.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, sitting inside and nerding on something.
yeah.
And I
So
think a
go
lot of people here are like that.
so going back to the early days, what was on the stereo when you were first starting to play guitar?
It, I think it was like my older sister, she listened to a lot of like heavy metal.
Okay.
And yeah, when we were kids, it was like obviously Madonna and Michael Jackson stuff.
Yep.
But like, yeah, Metallica, Maiden, Halloween,
Yeah,
whatever,
right.
AC/DC, Scorpion, stuff like that. And I just, yeah, I liked the same things she liked because she had cool like friends with guys with long hair and denim vests, and
Yep.
I thought that was a cool look. So yeah,
It's
and they had a cool musical style. So I guess that was spinning in my CD player on my vinyl.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But I started to play like uh, when I learned to play, I think, of course, Metallica was a bit too difficult. But I can't remember. Like, yeah, the grunge wave as well, like a lot of Nirvana and stuff like that.
Hit there.
What
Yeah.
was easier to learn,
Yeah, of course.
as I remember. So I played it. I tried to play a bit of everything.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. All
Yeah,
right,
why
so
not?
you're a original founding member of Atlas Losing Grip.
Yeah.
How did the songwriting kind of come about with that? Like, was it your ideas that you were taking to the band, or were you just getting in a room and jamming with everybody, or what was the kind of, and what was the impetus of like doing that kind of band?
The thing was, it was in back in 2005.
Yep.
We all like there was a youth, or not a youth place, but like a place to hang out in Lund called Hemgården, the same place where like Satanic Surfer started out, yeah, a bunch of years
Yep.
earlier, and they had rehearsal rooms, and they had like, you could go there, you could just n not drink inside. That was the rule.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mixed ages and people, but mostly punk rockers and stray people at the
Yeah.
time. And then, as I remember, I was playing with this younger guy. His name is Gustav, and I was like, yeah, we sort of became family in there. But he was quite a bunch of years younger than me, and was like, yeah, let's play some Maiden downstairs, in the rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And yeah, we used to like jam together because it was fun. And as I remember, I just skate punk was kind of dead at the time, back in 2005, at least in Sweden.
It definitely no, it
Nobody,
definitely took a dip. Like it absolutely
yeah,
took a dip. Yeah.
it didn't have any cred anymore. It was like people were ashamed of saying like they were playing skate punk or whatever.
Yeah.
And I got the brilliant idea of, yeah, let's start like a real just skate punk band,
Yeah.
or a project or whatever it was. I didn't take it too serious at the time. So yeah, I just started writing a little songs,
Yeah.
jamming
So
out.
so mainly just you taking ideas, or you and a bunch of other people with the same kind of direction.
No, from the beginning, it was just me and Gustav like jamming there, and
Okay.
his older brother came in and played drums, and yeah, that we tried a bunch of people. Like it wasn't anything serious from the beginning,
Yeah.
but then I guess we started to realize, yeah, it sounds okay, like
Yeah. Go with it.
And I always had this some kind of gut feeling that I'm gonna do music seriously. That was like my main purpose in life since I was a kid, as I can remember it. But
Wow.
I
Okay.
always had other things coming in my way, and I didn't really believe in myself enough. But yeah, drinking a lot and living that kind of lifestyle wasn't really helping either.
Yeah.
So, but along the way, I guess I found some, yeah. I, I don't know the name now, but or the word, but I got some self-esteem,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
better self-esteem in writing songs, I guess, and yeah, that's the way it is.
That's
That's
incredible.
how we started out, and
So organic. Yeah. Because like
I
so I've
think I
like
was playing guitar first in Atlas. Yeah, I think I
yeah,
was
right.
playing
Okay.
guitar from the beginning because I wrote the songs on guitar.
Yeah. No, okay, so
That
around the same time, oh, probably a bit earlier, I was doing a similar, not a similar band because they weren't as good as you, but that whole like a very our two biggest influences were Satanic Surfers, well, so, yeah, Satanic
yeah,
Surfers and Iron Maiden. So we had this
yeah,
Satanic Surfers, Iron Maiden, and
amazing.
to even to add to the Satanic Surfers not shtick, but like vibe, our drummer sang. So we had that whole that thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, and it was really cool band. I loved it. It was some of the proudest stuff I've ever written. But the biggest thing
Yeah.
that we kind of came up against around that time was it was like we were too ugly and aggressive for pop punk guys or pop punk people, but we
Yeah.
were too melodic for hardcore kids.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we were always in this really weird gray area, which,
Yeah. I
you
can relate to that
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
at the same time. Yeah. Was it around the same time as we started Atlas or
Probably I think it was probably 2001 to about 2004.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so but like yeah, it was that whole like all of a sudden Fat Records weren't signing the fast skate punk bands, and Epitaph weren't signing the
Yeah.
fast skate punk bands. They were doing like Fat were doing Against Me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Epitaph were doing whatever Epitaph would do. I can't think of it at the time, but whatever they were doing, like they'd signed Madball and they signed a whole. They'd really
Yeah.
branched out in metalcore and that kind of thing. So yeah, it was just
Yeah.
an odd time. But then you get bands like yourself or like Strike Anywhere or Rise Against who just kind of flourished and
Yeah.
broke through everything. But yeah, it was just for the most
It
part, it
was a
just got
tough time.
yeah, yeah, that's right.
Like being in between the incredibly poppy pop punk that was at
Yep.
the time, like the almost boy bandish
Yeah, boy band
kind
with
of.
guitars. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck is going on? I
yep,
remember we were like, what is this? This is
mm,
insane. And then
yeah,
also the emo and the turning into screamo
of
thing,
course. Yeah, yeah.
and then the hardcore. There was really no space i- in the middle for this music that
For
we
that,
made or that you made, obviously,
yeah. So yeah,
because people didn't understand it because maybe they didn't grow up with it, so they didn't get the influences or yeah.
that's exactly right. Yeah. So again, we talked before the podcast and we just mentioned them. Iron Maiden, you're a massive fan.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about Iron Maiden specifically that a lot of punk rockers give them a pass? Like, because in theory, everything they do, I mean, if you take out the Killers album, everything they do is kind of an antithesis to punk rock. Like it's big and it's long songs and it's theatrical and it's operatic singing, for the most, well, not for
Yeah.
the most part, but and Dungeons and Dragons kind of lyrical content. But there's so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
musicians who are like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Like I play in this punk rock band, but
Yeah.
Iron Maiden are one of my favorite bands. Like yourself, Iron Maiden are obviously one of your favorite bands. Well, what do you think it is that gives them the pass that other bands in the genre don't really get a look in?
Now when I'm older and I'm starting to think more, or I started to think more about why I like some music and why I don't like other things, within music. I came to the conclusion that it's really all about the melodies for me.
Okay, yep,
Even within unmelodic music like death metal, there is a certain melody or a red line or whatever in the
yep,
riffs that gives me a feeling, and it's almost never a happy feeling. I don't like happy songs. It doesn't give me the same thing. It
yeah,
has to be minor, mostly for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, fair.
And if it's major, it has to lead to minor.
Yeah, or come out of minor into the major. Yeah,
Yeah, to
yep,
give me that feeling which I'm chasing all the time with music.
yep,
And Maiden is a perfect example of giving me the goosebumps just by listening to the melodies.
yeah. Okay,
Because it's phenomenal melodies
yep,
through many of the songs. And Steve Harris is a mastermind, in my opinion, in
yep,
creating these epic melodies that you really can feel and get goosebumps from.
yeah,
That's
for sure.
that's what music is about for me. And I mean, I can get goosebumps from Madonna too,
Yeah,
because the melodies are just melodies. It doesn't matter what instrument you play
yep,
them on.
yep,
And that's the thing for me, I guess. I like the epic songs without being childish epic. It's not like Lord of the Rings,
yeah,
in that
yeah,
time.
yeah. Makes
It's
sense.
it's mature, somehow mature music. Like you have to
Yep.
think a little to get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I guess, you know.
No, that's a great answer. That's a fantastic answer.
I think so. And I mean, I find the same melodies in Bad Religion lyric, like in the vocal,
Yep. Delivery.
yeah, or Satanic Surfers or Melancholy and all, whatever. No fun at all. It's everywhere. It's
Yep.
just you have to, yeah, I guess see beyond the genre of music and
Yeah.
just like it for what it is, or try to like it at least. So
Yeah. Unreal. Cool. Um,
I hope you
so
understand what I
no, no,
tried to
I
explain.
do. I
It's
completely do. It all makes
a
sense.
bit dreamy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that all makes sense. Um, so how does your approach to playing No Fun at All, sorry, playing in No Fun at All change from playing in Atlas Losing Grip? Because traditionally, No Fun at All stuff, not to the earlier stuff, like the let's call it the 90s stuff, was very simple. As in, it
Yeah.
was like it followed the rhythm guitar pretty much, parallel all the way
Yeah.
through it. How did your approach change to that, and how do you approach playing the older stuff like the Out of Bounds and that era of albums with your modern bass line? Like, do you change it up much, or do you kind of try to keep it to the traditional? Or
The thing is, uh, we quit Atlas in 2016, I think, and
yep,
late or 15, I can't remember, but like a year later, I got a call from the drummer in No Fun, and they asked me, or he asked me to if I wanted to join because their bass player and guitarist was just gonna finish like a few tours and then they're out.
yep,
I thought about it, of course, for a while, and I listened to a lot of No Fun at All when I was younger, and we played shows together with Atlas and them.
yep,
So I knew the guys, and they knew me a little, and so on. But of course, I said yes, yeah. But my approach was always I didn't want to change the sound or make it like my sound because I mean it sounded the way it did in the
yeah,
90s. It's pretty basic, and Atlas was not as basic. A lot more bass lines, I guess.
yeah.
But I try. It's the No Fun songs are actually really fast on the right hand.
Oh,
If you listen,
it's like
it's
mind-blowingly fast. Like
yeah, like all the
completely
time.
surprisingly fast. Yeah, like relentless.
Yeah,
Yeah. When it's
and
on, when it's firing, it's on. Yeah.
that's what like I played quite a lot like that in Atlas too. Like trying to sync it with the drums was really important for me. Like the kick and snare together with the bass guitar. That's like the foundation of good music,
Yeah, yeah.
in my opinion, and that's a good recipe to stick to, and that's what I try to do in No Fun, like keep the fast thing for the right hand, but not make it my song if
Yep.
it's
Okay.
not my song. If it's from the
Yep.
90s, I wasn't on it. I gotta respect that sound, but
Yeah, no,
still
it's
try to,
absolutely.
you know. So I remember playing a lot to get my speed up in my right hand because the songs are really fast on the recordings too. It's like
So fast.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So fast.
And really, really exhausting to try to play it like 25 songs like that
Yeah. Yeah.
in, in a
For an hour
set.
and a bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess yeah, now it's no problem. I play like fast with my right hand at least all the time, and I try to
Yep.
sync it with the drums all the time in No Fun at All, and it works out good. And I mean, if there's a little space for me to do my own take on
Yep.
the old bass lines, maybe I do it because it's sometimes it's hard to hear also on the recordings what was actually done.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. Yeah.
so, but I try to respect the original sound and still. I mean, I have my settings on my bass amp. I don't play
Yep.
with the settings they used,
Yeah.
obviously,
Because that was
because
obviously,
that's not the best.
besides the bass playing, obviously, which sounds different from True Grit to the pre 90, the 90 stuff.
Yeah,
The bass, I remember hearing the bass going, this sounds massive. like compared to what it used to be. And it's no disrespect because it's the technology that you have at hand and
Yeah, yeah, of
the
course.
simplicity of recording and all that kind of thing that we've got nowadays. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was just like, wow, this like this sounds huge compared to
yeah,
what it used to be. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It does, and I mean, I guess same for with me when I was younger and started playing. I didn't know any theory, musical theory, and I
Okay.
didn't care. I mean, I could do mathematics in school. I didn't want to do it with
Yeah.
music. That
While
was
you're
my
playing, yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
Because I was using my ears, and if it sounded good, it sounded good.
Yep.
Then I would keep on playing it. And I guess that was the thing for, I know it was for Satanic Surfers, since I know them as friends, and they told me, and you know, people didn't know about the technical stuff. They didn't care. The gain on max, and
Yep.
just playing as
And
fast
let's
as they
go.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just sticking to good songs and good melodies, and that was the thing. And there was no competition in what pedals you used or whatever. You
Yep.
used the fucking, metal zone, and that's it.
Yeah. Just whatever you had, use it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
that was the same for me. And I think a lot of younger people lose good opportunities with music because they zone too much into the technical aspects, like what pedals to have and what amps
Yep.
and fucking metronomes, and sitting and shredding on YouTube, and then they can't play together with a drummer. They can only play with,
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I completely understand that. Yeah.
it's
It's
like
it's all well and good
the
to
main
shred along with whatever, but if you can't
yeah,
hear what a drummer's doing
yeah,
with all their inconsistencies, then
yeah,
what good are you to a band? Yeah.
exactly. And I, I never get it, some kids are incredibly fast on the guitar with their metronome or the bass or whatever it is, but there's no melody that gets to me. It's like
Yep.
only theoretics and shredding with no melodies as a foundation. And I couldn't care less because it gives me nothing.
Yep.
Do
Yeah,
you understand what I mean?
yeah.
I don't want to sound like an idiot, but
Yeah.
it doesn't impress me anymore. Maybe it did when I was younger. Like, of
Yep.
course, Yngwie Malmsteen and guys like this impress
Yeah.
me still because they have this melody and this tone that is amazing.
Yep.
But they could use whatever fucking crappy, cheap
They
guitar.
could they could pick up a
Yeah,
$300 Squire and still
yeah.
sound like Ingve Malmsteen. Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's maybe I'm not there. I mean, I'm no magician, but some musicians are. And that's what I like with music. It's
Yep.
not about what things you have, what gear you have.
Yep. No,
So
100.
no Fun at All didn't care at all about what amps or guitars they had. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure they took whatever they had or could afford at the moment,
And
and they
just walked
used
in
it
with
and
it.
they
Yep.
played as fast as they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at them now. Like, yeah.
And I mean, nowadays yeah, there's a lot of more stuff to choose from. And
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't care anything about gear either. It's like when I find the tone I'm searching for,
Yep.
I don't care what equipment it is that brings me the tone, but
Yeah.
if it's there, it's there. Then I'm
Yep.
happy.
There
Yeah,
you go. That makes sense.
I think
So
it's mostly in the hands
yeah,
of the one.
that's what people forget about at the end of the day.
Yeah,
It's a lot in the fingers. Yeah.
I
Um.
think so. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I saw that you were going to pull off the incredible and do No Fun at All and Satanic Surfers pre-COVID. I think it was No Fun
yeah,
at All and Satanic Surfers tour, where you were going to
yeah,
play in both bands.
yeah.
Like I've
I
tried
know.
to sit down with Satanic Surfers stuff,
Yeah,
and it's as well as I do, like it's on another level. Tom X bass playing
yeah,
on those early stuff is on another level.
yeah,
Did you sit down with him and say like, hey, can you talk me through this? Or you just sat down
no,
by ear or like what? Like because again, like the
yeah,
production isn't amazing.
no,
And so a lot of it's so fast and so like sonically
yeah,
huge that you just go, I think this is it. Like I think this is kind of what he's playing. Like I don't know. Yeah. How did you do it?
yeah.
How did you undertake that whole process? And unfortunately, it never happened. But you were
No,
ready to do it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That tour never happened, and I might not have survived it since I had to do double duties.
Insane.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if, yeah, maybe back then before the pandemic, I could have handled it, but now I'm too old, I guess, and tired.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pull it off now, but I I mean, I've been listening to Satanic Surfers a lot through my life, and they've been a big influence to me,
Yep.
and also friends of mine and stuff like that. And I was listening and deep diving into the songs,
Yep.
and I mean, some of Tomek, who played bass on the early albums,
Yeah.
his stuff. As I don't know him personally, but I saw that many times with him playing, and it's
Yep.
kind of obvious he doesn't know what notes you can play together with others.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
He doesn't give a shit. He uses his ear, and and it turns out great.
That's so
And that's
good.
what I try to do as well. So with their songs, some
Yep.
melodies on the bass you can actually copy right off, you know. But
Yep.
some stuff you got to improvise and try to think what would he have done
Yep.
over here, like, and it's not like following what is it, a scale? No, a
Yeah.
scale?
Scale.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
scale.
not
Yeah,
following scale. Yeah. It's
no,
very
exactly. Because
jazzy. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he didn't know any scales, and I don't even know any scales either. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's
I just
great.
play what sounds good and
Yep.
what feels like it comes together good with other parts. So that's what I did. And I mean, I don't know if I got it all right, but I think I got it quite close to right. And some parts I really listened to and tried to analyze
Yeah.
fucking many times.
Yeah. I can imagine. That's great.
Yeah, and it's like if you can hear where some fast parts where they start and where they end, it's kind of it's possible to figure out how he's going there.
Okay.
And that's what I tried to do. Like,
Yep.
okay, he starts over here. I found the notes, and I found out where he ends the thing.
Yep.
And then you can, yeah, you can realize
Put
how can I move my hand over
yeah.
there?
Put the puzzle.
Yeah,
Put the pieces in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, because
And
one of
then
my
yeah,
I've always wanted to learn the intro to I can't remember. I think it's Soothing. I think the song's called
yeah,
Soothing.
yeah,
It's like that really walky bassline thing, but all of a sudden at the end it
yeah.
just kind of explodes and it's just like, whoa, what are you doing there? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so yeah.
I, I had a little. I had to say this. I had a little YouTube channel for. I still have it, but
Okay.
I stopped posting because I'm so uninterested in like showing off what I'm doing because I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
think I'm good enough anyway. Because yeah, you know that's my mindset.
I feel
It's
that.
all like that.
Mate, I feel that. I absolutely can.
Who the
Yeah.
fuck am I to sit on the
Yep.
internet and preach about what I'm doing? Who cares anyway? But
Yep.
I did a playthrough of Soothing over there.
Did you
Uh,
really?
yeah, and I can send it
Oh,
to you
I'll have to
when
check
we're
it out.
done here.
Yeah.
It's just my name, Stefan Bratt, and I think it says like doing soothing from Satanic Surfers. And there's a bunch of Atlas songs and
Yep.
a
Okay.
few other Satanic Surfers songs. I think too. From the time during the pandemic when I was practicing these songs a lot.
Okay. Yeah, it makes
So
sense.
we played soothing together. I filled in for Satanic for Andy in South America, and then we played it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
We'll have to
it
go
was
looking
cool.
for YouTube videos. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We played that song a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
So
Um,
I'll send it to you.
while we're talking on it, this is more just I'm like, I don't know if anyone else is going to want to know this, but for someone who was living in Sweden, being around punk rock in the mid '90s,
Yeah.
um, who was the band that you think were most overlooked and should have been bigger than everybody else, and who was? I mean, they're all fantastic bands, but like, who was your personal favorite back in the '90s?
My personal favorite was like from the Swedish bands,
Yeah.
almost always the Satanic Surfers.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Uh, Also, the more serious songs from Millencolin, like
Yes.
not the
Okay.
ska songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was never a fan of that. But the minor songs with good melody lines
Yep.
that were very Bad Religion-ish, and
Yeah.
same goes for No Fun at All. The more, yeah, the songs with the best melodies
Yep.
and the least fooling around,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I
Because
feel that.
the
Yeah.
ironic 90s didn't always bring good stuff to music.
Yeah. That's right.
So I didn't appreciate listening to some ironic country song from a skate
Yes.
punk band or a cover or whatever. It
Yep.
was never my thing. But a band that never got the attention they deserved, I think, was Adhesive.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, if
Yeah. Yep.
if you heard them, and
Did they did this? I want to say they did a split with 10 Foot Pole.
no, that was Satanic
Oh,
Surfers
that
and
was Snake
Temple.
Service.
It
Who
did
did
a
it?
split. Adhesive was uh,
I had an album.
the guy Robert, the drummer, played for Satanic Surfers on the Taste the Poison album.
Ah,
But
right.
they are like, yeah, it's a punk community in Sweden. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
They were a very political band. They did from from left to right, I think one album is called.
Okay.
I gotta check. I can't remember the names right now because I have to remember them and I
Yeah.
don't. Let me check because it's
Yeah. No,
anyway.
from
It's a
left to
really
right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good band and good friends. Sideburner, yeah, and Sideburner and From Left to Right are the first two albums, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
So please give it a shot and listen to them.
I'll have to go dig it back up. Yeah. I'm sure I had one of their albums, but I can't think of what one it was.
You probably have because
Yeah.
they were everywhere in the 90s. They just didn't get the attention they deserved,
Yeah.
that in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you
So
go.
that's a
Shouts to
good band.
Adhesive.
Yeah.
They're
Fuck yeah.
fantastic. Okay, so we
Yeah,
talked
great.
about we slightly talked about gear and how you said you didn't need the coolest shit or whatever. But what are you running at the moment? Like you're a Fender artist, which is amazing.
Yeah. I got a deal. Like now they closed their Europe office, I think, or
Oh wow.
at least their Northern Europe office. And I didn't buy a bass or anything for quite a while. So, but I'm still a Fender artist. Yeah, I got a
Yep.
deal with them when I was playing for Atlas,
Okay.
and I'm very happy about it, of course,
Yeah.
because I love a P bass, and I got that from Steve Harris. I mean. It has to be a precision bass. It has the
Yep.
weight and it has the thicker neck.
Thicker
A
neck. Yeah.
jazz bass.
Well, so that's what I was going to ask you because like a lot of
Yeah,
guitar, I find that a lot of guitarists prefer jazz basses because the neck is thinner. But
yeah,
you coming from yeah, but you obviously I've seen a bunch of your videos and all throughout your Instagram,
yeah,
you've got a bunch of various P bases.
yeah,
So
yeah.
with the thicker necks, yeah,
Yeah, because I think it is bass guitar. I mean, yeah, I used to play guitar, but this is not guitar, so I
yeah,
shouldn't have a thinner neck.
yeah,
I don't like the sheeting thing.
yep, that makes sense. But
And I use,
you still
you
play with
know,
your pick. You didn't copy Steve with the
Yeah, I
three
never
fingers.
played with my
Yeah,
fingers. No,
yeah.
I can't do it, and I'm not interested in doing it either.
I'm
And
yep. I feel that.
yeah,
Yeah, yep.
you play with pick?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I've gone back to. Let me show you what I've gone back to. Actually, I say gone back to, but I've never come from it before. So I now use those.
Ah, you try? I
And
never tried them.
so here's the thing, right? You ready for the greatest cheat code in the world? Let me
Yeah,
just find. So this is the normal pick that I use, right? Just a
yeah,
yellow little mate, and it's
yeah,
got 1 point there, and that's fantastic. These
yeah,
guys, are you ready for it? 1 point, 2 points,
yeah,
3 points. Like it's the greatest. You don't have to think of you don't you still do, but like I just picked one of these up because I just found it and I was just like, oh, this is incredible. Well, this makes
yeah,
sense. Like oh,
yeah,
it's not for everybody, but I used to laugh at these and go, this is ridiculous. But it's like it's three picks in one. When
yeah.
that one goes a bit dead, you
Absolutely.
just flick it around, off you go. Yeah,
I, sh- I mean, it's on my list to try.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
never did it. I'm a really what do you say? Habit, a guy of
Oh,
habits.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
And I guess a lot of musicians are. It's
Yep.
like, no, I can't do that. No,
Yeah. Stick with you. I
okay,
know what I
can
use
never try.
works, and that's what it is. Yeah.
But it's, to be honest, it's on my list of things to try,
Yeah.
but I just never did it.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's
But
awesome.
I promise you, I will try it out. I
Give it a
think I
go.
have one or two lying around here somewhere.
Yep. Yep.
Because, but it always, I mean, you can play with a better punch and faster with using a pick in this kind of music.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
for me, that's yeah, it has to be done that way.
Yeah.
It's, it's still like melodic punk or hardcore, and for me, it's important to be able to have the punch in the hand, like
Yep. That makes sense.
on the string.
So pedals or like preamps or what,
Yeah,
and amp heads, what are you using with that?
yeah. The thing is, yeah, as I said, P bass, but I changed all my pickups.
Yep.
I had a deal with the DiMarzio, so I used
Okay.
their Model P,
Yep.
and I also use. Have you heard about Lundgren pickups? It's a Swedish guy he makes
Okay.
these amazing. It's like amazing, really.
Okay. Yeah, right.
You sh Yeah, he's an old guy. He's been doing it for a long time. So yeah, he's a professional, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called I'll send it over to you. It's called
Yeah.
Lundgren pickup, and don't tell anyone. But I think it's even better than the Marcio for
Between you and
my
me. It's between
yeah,
you and
yeah,
me. That's
exactly.
awesome.
And with the tolls and everything from getting stuff from the US, it makes more sense for me to actually
To
use something
get it
made in Sweden,
locally. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
especially nowadays,
Yeah, yeah,
what's
yep.
going on. Yeah, so yeah, but that's what I use, and I changed for badass
Oh, badass bridge. Yeah, yep.
bridge. Yeah, yeah, exactly. On two bases at least, and as yeah, pedals. I tried quite a bunch. Now I have a deal also with EBS, a Swedish
Okay. Yeah,
uh,
yep.
bass brand. So I played a lot of their amps and use their pedals between like over the years.
Yep.
And my favorite setup is always an Ampeg SVT rig.
Yep.
Like
The classic.
it has everything
Yep.
in like the low end and getting the punch like in my back, which I really
Yeah.
want on stage. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
but I sold my head because it's too expensive to get it fixed when it breaks down, and
And your back
it's too
sore.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like we don't tour like that anymore. I felt it was stupid to have a really good, expensive bass head in like Ingemar's like storage up
Yeah.
Sweden,
Yep.
and I fly in with my little dark glass amp, which I use
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah, class D ones.
for
Yep.
flying shows. I use that one, or
Yep.
if I get an Ampeg like on festivals, I always prefer the Ampeg, of course. But then I
Yeah.
have my dark glass as a backup.
As a backup. Yeah.
So, and I play a EBS classic line head as my main when I tour with a van.
Okay. Yep.
I bring that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
cool.
otherwise, I play the dark glass. Yeah.
Awesome.
And Ampeg 8 by 10 SVT
Yep.
cabinet, the classic one.
Tried and
Uh,
trusted. Yeah.
at home, I have a smaller, like a Marshall 410, yeah, 80s cabinet, which works good at
Yeah.
home. Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
and pedals, I use a tone hammer, Aguilar tone hammer,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yep.
EBS compressor,
Yep.
and a tuner. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, cool. Just keep it simple.
yeah. It gives me the punch and the yeah the thing I'm searching for. Like, and I guess my if I don't have new or fairly new strings, I change every two shows.
Yeah, right.
Because if I don't have new strings, I won't get the sound no
Yeah.
matter what fucking pedal I
Yeah,
use.
that's right. No matter what you're plugging
So,
into. Yeah.
and I mean, I noticed like, oh, I even get this punch on a cheap transistor, head that I'm borrowing from someone at a show
Yep.
if I have my new strings on.
Yep. Yeah, makes
It's like
sense.
so to me that's the key, like for my sound at least. New strings, yeah,
Imperative. What
new
what
strings.
brand, what gauge?
I use the EBS strings as well
Oh,
because they
cool. They
have
make strings, do they? There you go.
yeah, it's called titanium nickel, and I use the heavy. It's 50 to 110.
110. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Cool.
use. Uh, Always, because I have a deal with them. Otherwise, if I like get to buy something else, it's mostly Ernie Ball,
Okay.
heavy
Yeah, yeah.
slinky. Yeah.
That makes sense. Sick.
So that's all I
Um,
use.
there you go. So what's the most memorable advice you've ever been given? Something that kind of to do with music, obviously. What's kind of some advice someone's ever given you that's kind of stuck with you that you've held on to for all these years?
I didn't follow it, and it wasn't given to me through music, but it's
Okay.
always like stick with your gut, and
Yep.
you know, I mean, my life is like I'm living proof that it actually works
Yeah.
because I didn't stick to my gut for many years.
Yep.
Then I wasn't where I am today. And the same goes for my own personal songwriting, legacy or whatever I should say with Atlas Losing Grip. I wrote most of the music,
Yep.
and it was like, could we really do this? Could we really sound like this? Yeah, fuck yeah, we can.
Yeah.
And I listened to my gut and I wrote the riffs I wanted to write, not the riffs people expected me to write.
Yeah. Or whatever was
And
popular at the time. Yeah.
yeah, that's what it's all about, I think. Like, and I always try to, yeah, that's the advice I got. Like,
That's so good.
the gut before the heart. I mean,
Yep. Yep.
because I'm a sensitive guy and my heart not
You,
always tells me the same things,
yeah,
It's
you and me
like,
both.
yeah,
Yep.
you
That's
should
awesome.
call her right now in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
It's
no.
not always a
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
thing.
It's
My
a
gut
good thing.
says, don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
amazing. See,
yeah, that's the advice. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Otherwise, it's just like do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because the foundation of music shouldn't be what other people want you to do or what other people expect you to do. It should be what you want to play and what you want to do and
Yep.
sound the way you want to sound. And I mean,
Yep.
when you find that path, never go away from it if your
Never.
gut tells you to stick on it.
Yep.
That's
That's
my
incredible.
only advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Okay,
I think
so
so. Yeah.
what is next for you musically with either No Fun at All or anything else you've got in the burn? What's the plans?
I mean, I have a lot of musical projects at home, which I wish I finished more
Yeah.
frequently than I do. That's always on the side because it's
Yep.
not like I made a living from No Fun at All for the last 7 years.
Yep.
So
That's
it
amazing.
has to be my priority. I mean, I can't do something else which only cost me money and then
Yeah.
expect to still have my band on the side.
Yeah.
So I'm always all in for what I'm doing at the moment, and we got a bunch of touring still this year. We go on tour
Fantastic.
on Tuesday. We do a shorter, like 6 shows through Europe,
Oh, cool.
and it's gonna be like, yeah, we might have some interesting things coming up later for your part.
Oh. Oh. Hello.
Who knows? I
No,
don't know.
who knows what the future's got in store for us?
No,
Yeah.
we might. We
Cool.
might. I didn't say we will, but yeah, I mean, we have plans, obviously, yeah. But we'll see. I'm writing songs for No Fun at All as well,
Okay.
because I want to try it out because it's a challenge for me.
Have you
And
written anything in the past, or was it mainly
no.
no?
Yeah, on the last album we did, I did a few guitar things and
Okay.
obviously my bass things.
Yep.
Otherwise, no. But Mikael, who was the main songwriter, he quit the band a
Yep.
year ago, and yeah, it's a challenge to try to write no fun songs, but I think I could pull it off decently. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the we try to plan a year and a half ahead, and
Ahead, yeah, for sure.
there's nothing spectacular going on the in the planning so far. So
Yeah,
that's
cool.
yeah, same old touring, playing.
Right, amazing. Hey, look, well, I've got four more questions before we wrap it up,
Yeah,
but I just
yeah,
want to
yeah,
say
sure.
thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. It's been a treat because,
Thank you.
again, like
Amazing.
completely selfishly, like you are, like, we spoke before we hit record that we are like a day travel.
Yeah,
But in the 90s, you may as well have been on you and that scene may as well have been on another planet. But every
yeah,
once in a while, we'd get like Colin would come to town. No fun
yeah,
at all would come through. Like,
yeah.
I mean, they were the probably, well, 59 Times came out, Satanic Service came out, but I missed it because I was too young. But
Yeah, it
like,
was long ago. Yeah,
yeah, but like it was, it was just incredible to see these bands come through from somewhere that was like polar opposite to where we are or where I am now, which is Sydney,
yeah,
Australia.
yeah.
And just be like, you're on the same wavelength as what we are, and you guys just did it. You had your it was incredible because like the Swedish guys, you had your own vibe,
Yeah.
but you couldn't really say that any two bands were the same, if that makes sense.
No, no,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, something in the water over there.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's the darkness, and
yeah,
I think so. I mean, most people I know from Sweden are not that fucking happy all the time, you know.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's a dark winter, a long dark winter for everybody here, and it's half of the year when life is not all sunshine and good vibes, you know. It's kind of
yeah,
cold and harsh, and I guess for me, that's a really good fuel for creativity.
yeah,
I, when I create music, I put myself often into a state of mind where I'm not too happy, to be honest. And I need to do that to be able to create music. I don't know
yeah.
why, it's just how it works for me. And I
There you
guess
go.
maybe it's something global. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. That's amazing. All
So
right,
I
so
think it's all about that and spending
yeah,
a lot of time indoors,
yeah,
like in winter time. Yeah, I
yeah,
think it gets to you somehow.
yeah. I can imagine it. Also, okay, but quickly, like let's have geography time with Stefan, or
Yeah,
not geography time, but
yeah,
like let's talk about Sweden. I
yeah.
like in the middle of winter, how much
Yeah.
daytime do you get?
It's different because I live in the far south of Sweden,
Okay,
and
so it's better than what it is up north.
yeah, in the winter, I think as far up north you can get in Sweden, maybe I don't know, just a few hours of
Far out.
daytime. I mean, is it in Alaska where they have like, no, it's not
24 hour,
Alaska. Yeah, 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 something
yeah,
like that.
24 hour
It's like,
sun and 24-hour night. Yeah.
yeah, and whoops. Oh,
That's
my
okay.
phone thought it was gonna play something with Alaska on Spotify. Sorry, that was not my plan. Yeah, but down here, maybe it gets like the sun goes up at I don't know 8, 9 in the morning, and
Wow.
it goes down at 3:30, 4 in the day. So when you went to school or to work, it was like dark when you went there, and then you were inside, and then when you came
Oh,
out, it's
it's
dark
dark
again.
again. Yeah.
And it's it gets to you because I really need sunshine or a blue sky at least.
Yeah.
And in the south of Sweden, there's not too much snow either all the time. Like if you get the snow like you do up north, it compensates. It brighten things up.
Yep. Okay, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Because you
It's
got the
all
glare.
white. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, and often it's a clear sky. But
Yep.
down here, it's mostly fucking gray. It's
Yeah.
like
Right. Okay.
gray sky, no snow, only asphalt and like concrete and rain and fucking, it's depressing.
So did your mind melt the second you came to Brazil or Australia or even, Southern California where we're just like the fucking
Yeah.
sun's up at 6 a.m. and it's down at 8 p.m. or whatever. Like it must have been just a trip.
It's it's amazing. We like we're fortunate enough to be able to plan maybe our tours outside of Europe so we can go when it's more like spring or summertime for you guys.
Yep.
So like if we go in the winter here, we get to some nice weather in
Yeah.
other parts of the world.
Down here. Yeah.
And I've always been like a nerdy nature guy. I love nature and like of course I knew about the climate, but I or how it about nature and your wildlife and everything, but I
Yep.
hadn't seen it in real life before, of course.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel so good with like some sunlight.
There
But
you go.
at the same time, I notice in Sweden, like when it's summer here, everybody is like, we got to take the opportunity and do things all the time,
Ah,
outside,
yes. Make the
meeting
most of
people,
it. Yep.
being social. Come on, don't be boring, blah, 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 all the time. And I'm an introvert. I mean,
You're right.
I love to be social when I choose to be social,
Yep.
but I don't enjoy being social on demand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, not to everybody, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
But in that way, summertime can also be stressful here for that reason, at least for like maybe introverts. Yeah.
yeah. Because
Like
too much
you
going
got to
on.
do something because the sun
Yeah,
is up, because it's not normally up there.
yeah. That's it. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the quick four at the end.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, sure.
who we sorry, so first question. Everybody should listen to who?
Like in music?
Music. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's get music and then something else. Is there an author you dig or a poet you dig but music first and then something else as well?
Yeah, let's start with music then. I mean, I can be boring and say Iron Maiden, of course.
No, that's fair enough.
Um,
Yeah.
but it is boring because it's for me it's expected.
Yeah.
There's a Swedish band called Kent. They quit 9 years ago, but they did a short reunion now for 6 shows in Stockholm, and it was all sold out, 40,000 every night. I think it was, yeah.
What kind of band
And
are they?
it's an indie rock band
Oh, right.
from
Okay.
the beginning, but they sing in Sweden in Swedish, and like most of their albums. But I think they have two albums also in English,
Yep.
uh, and they totally get the vibe of what's the Swedish mentality and loneliness and feelings you get over here from the small cities. Like it's a certain feeling that I think makes that yeah, makes a really big part of the way we create music in Sweden. It's like so listen to Kent,
Just
Kent.
that simple. I
Yeah.
look forward to it. I look forward
On
to
the
it.
two
Okay.
albums, that's on English, yeah.
Amazing. All right.
Plus it's a good band.
Oh, yeah.
And another, yeah, I don't know who to listen to. Listen to your gut, as I
Yeah.
said.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All righty.
Yeah.
What's a bass line that's so good you wish you wrote it?
Oh, that's good. There are too many. I mean,
Yeah.
RKL and Joe Raposo, what a guy.
Yeah.
Classic, the intro to Betrayed. It's so cool.
Yep.
And he has a really cool way of playing. But aside from punk rock, in the song "Only the Good Die Young" with Iron Maiden, in the middle there's a little. You will hear which one I mean if you listen to the song. There's a little bass lead stuff going
Oh,
on,
okay.
and that's the first thing that came to mind now when you asked me. Only the
Awesome.
Good Die Young with Iron Maiden in the middle
Lovely.
of the song. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Have a listen to it.
Yeah, no, I look forward to it. That and Kent. I'm
Yeah.
so keen. Did
Yeah.
you ever sell anything you wish you got back? Sorry, you wish you could get back.
Yeah. Um, a lot of my like music memorabilia or stuff from the 90s or you know shirts from there was always like a punk rock show in Lund in Sweden in the mid 90s like
Yep.
every weekend or
Yeah.
something. It was Millencolin playing or Randy or Refused or whatever. and I bought a lot of those tour shirts, but when my interest faded a little bit, like late 90s, and I started to do other things,
Yeah.
maybe I got rid of quite a bunch of my shirts
Yeah.
and stuff. I regret that today because it would have been fun to like pick one out and use on stage sometime.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I mean, I couldn't have gotten any fucking money for those shirts back then, so I don't understand why I sold them.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have pretty much given them
So,
away. Yeah.
yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah, it's fun to keep those.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
So what about what's a go-to bass line? Sorry, what is your go-to bass line whenever you pick up a bass to sound check or to test out something or whatever? What's the first thing you play when you pick a bass up? What's your go-to bass line? Doesn't have to be your own, obviously, just anything.
When I play when I sound check bass together with the drums, me and Shell always play in a rhyme
Oh,
from No
cool.
Fun at All. Always.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like that.
Yep.
It has the notes that I need to check. Yeah,
Yep.
check my sound. But if it's a bass line in general, yeah, when I play the start riff like from Orion with Metallica, I play
Yes.
when the first break is coming for the bass, it's like it's not the heavy starting riff, but the other riff that comes second. I play that a lot
Okay.
when I sound check. I don't know why, it just turned out that way.
That's just what
And
feels comfortable. Yeah.
yeah, I love playing that song. It's so good and has so good bass lines and yeah, amazing,
Awesome.
amazing
Awesome.
song. Yeah.
And my
So
last
Orion
question.
from
My last question.
yeah,
What's your favorite part of being a bass player in a punk rock band?
in a successful punk rock band, it
Yes.
is
Yep.
seeing beautiful places and meeting wonderful people
Mate,
and
can't go wrong
playing
with that.
shows for like exchanging the energy between the audience and myself and the band on stage. That's so important. And for me, I'm so grateful to do it. Yeah. I mean, and even if I played punk rock and nobody saw me live, then I would choose something else. But it's still like the energy and yeah, the energy of music and what it does, like the fast, good melodic songs. It has a certain energy that I could never let go of, and apparently nobody else in the band could let go of
Yeah.
it either. I
Yep.
don't listen to it a lot at home anymore.
Yep.
Maybe sometimes from nostalgic reasons, and I listen to some punk rock and hardcore. But to play it, it's something else. It's all about
Yeah.
the energy and the melodies, and I love that. Yeah.
Mate, this was
Are you
unbelievable.
sated with
Mate,
the answers?
I'm
I
just
hope
like
I
you're just
hope I,
you've lived like the I don't know how to put it. Like you've lived what as a young kid, you've lived a life that as a young kid I wondered what was happening. Like where I'd sit back at my place in suburbia in Sydney, going well,
yeah.
like all these bands, like what's going on? You were like front and center for it, and like where. So you're born in 1980.
Yeah, I'm born 1980, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm 81, so like we're very
Yeah.
similar age.
Yeah.
So like it's just like you're living this parallel life to me where I wondered it and you were on the front line watching it, and it's just fucking
Yeah.
incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm so happy to have gotten the opportunity.
Yep, it's incredible.
It's but I didn't realize at the time, and that's the thing. I realize it now when
You
I
never
look back.
that's being young, not realizing what you've got until it's
No,
gone.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's yeah, it's been really a good talk. I know maybe we didn't talk too much about bass nerding around because I'm not,
No,
to be
look, talk
honest, that
like you
interested
can.
in
Yeah,
in
like
the
I
equipment
want people
anyway.
to
So
nerd out as much or as little as they want. Like I just want to. Again, I said it to you before I hit record. Like
yeah,
I want to hear bass players' takes on things. Being a bass player, I've been playing
yeah,
bass since '95. I got my first bass, Squire
yeah,
P bass, still got it. Don't
Yeah.
use it obviously,
Oh.
but still got it. But it's just like I just want to get stories from bass players because I I live and breathe it, and I want to hear
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
also live and breathe it. So
yeah, I
yeah,
do, and I think it's a personality thing.
yeah,
That's the secret behind the bass player.
yeah.
I read somewhere somebody said the bass player is the secret Hitler of a band,
Oh, okay, right.
like the dictator who makes everything his or
Yeah,
her way, I
yeah.
guess.
No, that's yeah,
And it has some truth in it. Maybe not a
absolutely.
Hitler, but
Well,
some kind of leadership in the
yeah,
back from the background.
Paul McCartney will often say like he controls the songs because
Yeah,
he played the but he steers it like it can be written, but he'll steer
yeah,
the vibe of it based on what he
yeah.
decides to play or not play. So yeah,
That's a fact I did not appreciate as a guitarist, like
yeah,
from the beginning. It's all
yep,
about the bass and the drums. No, fuck no, it's not.
yeah,
But it is.
yep,
That's the
it is.
foundation. Yeah.
Yep,
Without us, it sounds empty.
it does. Listen to the White
Yeah.
Stripes for proof. Yeah, that's it.
Exactly.
That's it,
So yeah, I really enjoyed having this this chat. I don't normally do too many interviews.
mate. I
It's
really
like
appreciate your
just the
time.
way it is. But
Yeah.
I really enjoy it, and yeah, it's been a good time. You're a
Come
really
down to
great guy.
Australia's ready for you again. Just come on down whenever you're ready,
Yeah, when we come there, I'll let you know, and I'll
please.
put you on a list, and
We'll have a
we'll get
we'll have a sparkling water together, okay?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely,
Fantastic.
man.
All right,
Sounds
man. Thank you
amazing.
very much. Have a good day. Take it easy.
Have a good evening and take
Thank you,
care.
sir.
Talk
Take
soon.
care. Bye.
How low can a punk get?